Excellent shooter, back left, Carlisle. He'll launch a three out there, and he's got it. Top for Keefe, and to Carlisle, jumps a three up and scores it. Cardinal with the ball, Bynum around a high screen from Keefe. Feed it off for Carlisle, jumps another three, good again. And look out, this kid now is 4 for 4 outside the arc today. Drives, right corner, Angel for three, of course. Well, this is a day Stanford can't miss, it would seem, from outside the three-point line.
Well, let's hope today's the day that the Colorado Buffaloes can miss outside the three-point line. Welcome to the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. We just completed our ultra-fast version of DK on the Sports Tip, and now we are back with you to talk college basketball for the next 3 hours. It is the number 10 Arizona Wildcats back at McHale Center for the first time in almost a month, December the 9th against Wisconsin. That was a good day, and there were a lot of good feelings with this team at the end of that day when essentially it was the Wildcats that shot the lights out and blitzkrieg the Badgers at the end of the first half and into the early part of the second half, on their way to a huge, huge win as I believe they were, was it, and J-Dub joins me, J.W. Madden, that was the first game as number one, if I'm correct? Correct, J-Dub? That was the first game they were number one?
Right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so because they actually only had, I believe, one, quote, title defense, one top-ranked defense.
They played Wisconsin and also Purdue. They were number one, I think, when they played
for
Purdue, and that's when they lost. Yeah,
but then lost
the
number one ranking after the game against the Purdue Boilermakers.
Also a day when the entire Warriors coaching staff was in the building.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was a fabulous day, to say the least. A lot of good feeling, as I mentioned, when the Wildcats left to embark on what would be almost a month of playing games away from McHale Center, 5 straight. And since that time, this basketball team has gone from number one in the country to 2-3 in their last 5 games. And people are not exactly feeling as comfortable with this Arizona Wildcats basketball team as they were when that team left after the win over Wisconsin. So things will begin anew here tonight. It is the first home game of the final Pac-12 schedule for this team, and we will find out because we're going to find out quick because both the Colorado Buffaloes who come in tonight and the Utah Utes who will come in on Saturday enter into Tucson as red-hot basketball teams, having won a combined 14 games in a row. The Buffaloes with 6 straight wins, and the Utah Utes heading up for their game tonight in Tempe against Arizona State, having won 8 games in a row, both coming off home sweeps of the Washington schools last weekend. Again, I'm David Kelly. You just heard from J.W. Madden. We are also joined today by the captain, Kelvin Ifan, 1998. And Kelvin, any new thoughts after watching the Stanford game and what needs to happen for this Wildcat team moving forward? We got a huge dose of Tommy Lloyd yesterday in which he was very adamant that they had not discussed the Stanford game in 48 hours, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to discuss the Stanford game. What I hope they have discussed are the issues that we saw exasperated in the Stanford game. I hope they have discussed that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you know, as a coach, you're looking at the record he's had and the success that he's had. That's the reason why he's like, hey, hold up now. I think I got this under control. I've been coaching basketball a long time, and I could tell that we're in some trouble. And again, I think I said it before. When I look back at the game, I just see a team that's still trying to learn each other. You got 4 new starters in the lineup. 5 of 8 new guys that are, of the top 8 or brand new guys to the program. I just think it's going to take some time. They got out to a great start, just like they did last year. You hit a little turbulence, but at the same time, you hit a little turbulence, but at the same time, that's not end all. So you take that little bump in the road, you go back and learn from it and tell the guys, hey, look, we just got to lock up a little better on defense. As he said, they're still the number 2 defense, when it comes down to it. But I guarantee you, he understands that, like, hey, we're going to have to lock up. This KJ Simpson is going to be real today.
And this is, again, Tommy Lloyd. He's in his 3rd season here, has had a ton of success. 85 games, of which he has been a winning coach in 71 of those 85 games. 71 in 14. It's going to be very interesting again. We kind of got a hot Tommy Lloyd yesterday. I would say the first sign of adversity in his coaching tenure. I mean, he's not lost 3 games in a 5-game stretch, so he's learning how to handle that. He's learning how to deal with how this fan base handles losing 3 games in a 5-game stretch and how manic they can get. So it's going to be interesting to see how he evolves as a head coach now that he's I'm sure he understood maybe what this fan base can be like. Now he's experiencing it when losses begin to pile up in groups together, how things roll here in Tucson. And how he needs to be as the head coach to handle how things roll here.
You know what Kelvin knows to be true? Kelvin knows that when you're St. Joe's and you go undefeated, right, and you get to the NCAA tournament and you haven't lost a game all year, Kelvin, that's not a good thing. Those losses lead to lessons. And nobody wants to see Arizona losing by 18 points on the road in a game they're favored by 10. That Stanford game is a bit of an anomaly. Guys, they're all the way down to number 7 now in efficiency defensively in the country out of 360 teams. So 7 instead of 2nd after that Stanford game. But you look at the other 2 losses, I mean, on the road, that was a road game versus Purdue. And then they lost in double overtime to FAU. Very acceptable. As far as the fan base is concerned, quite clearly, they just want Arizona to win every damn game. Right. And that's not going to happen because that's not how any of this works, especially with this schedule. The big key to me, Kelvin, is first game they've played at home. We talked about this in the little half-hour show we had before this. First game they played since December 9th in McHale at Wisconsin. They won that game, 98-73.
Yeah.
Feeling real good about themselves with Coach Kerr in the building and all of that. Go on the road to Purdue. Tough game at Alabama, the FAU double overtime game. Defense in Stanford obviously left a few things to be desired, but as far as the overall mentality of this team, Kelvin, to me, it doesn't look like anything's changed. I think whatever fans are like sky is falling after these 3 losses in 5 games, they're about to see something tonight. That's going to be a very driven Arizona defense, Kelvin, coming out to make amends from that Palo Alto trip.
Exactly. And if you think he was a little frisky right there, how do you think he was at practice? So,
exactly.
So I guarantee you, man, those guys are a veteran. It's a veteran group of guys that, not veteran as far as playing together, but you got some mature guys in there, man. And I guarantee you they can understand what coach is coming from, and they are going to adjust and play a lot better. And like you said, they're back at home. I love Colorado and Utah coming in. I've been looking at it. I love the Pac-12 because I said the Pac-12 is going to make our guys respect underdogs. It's going to make our guys respect underdogs. And you know who you have to play in the NCAA tournament? A bunch of underdogs until you get to the Final Four. So it's going to make you understand and appreciate the game plans and the executions of what you're trying to do. Playing these Pac-12 teams is going to force you to do it because you're not going to be able to get up for too many of these games.
All right, J-Dub, I want to shift gears here a little bit. I want to go to 1.5 first because you guys were talking about practice and when we hear from Tommy Lloyd here, so I'll give you a moment to get that one.
It's already
together. But it's interesting because in the NFL, they have after a big win, you'll see this in a lot of the locker room celebrations. After a big win, when the coach is up there giving his speech, he'll say, "I'll see you on Wednesday," and the guys go crazy because Wednesday is the first official day of the NFL week, which means that, unless you've got, treatment or something like that, you get to have not only Tuesday off, which is the normal off day, but you get to have Monday off. So you always love that video when the coach says, I'll see you on Wednesday after a big win. Well, Tommy Lloyd was asked this week in our annual, I should say, it's becoming our weekly diatribe with Arizona Wildcats beat reporter Bruce Pascoe, if he had given the team Monday off after the game.
Did you guys take Monday off? You don't have to, right? Because you're not in school, or did you go?
I can't remember. What does it matter if we did or didn't, Bruce? We got a really hard game. Bruce, do you think we took Monday off after the way we played on a Sunday? Okay. There we go. I mean, we of course we came in, and we might not have ran him into the ground, but of course, I mean, we got to get better. We're like everybody else. We got to get better.
So there was definitely no "I'll see you on Tuesday" after that game Sunday in Palo Alto.
Well, you're just coming off a break, right, J-Dub?
Yeah, it's also a holiday too, right?
Yeah, you just come. Yeah. So you come in the gym, you get some work in, you go over the game plan a little bit, and you talk to them a little bit. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of it is talking and communicating. A lot of work you put in a lot of the work, a lot of the plays. You're not gonna really come up with nothing new. But you got to communicate with guys and make them understand what's at stake. Make them understand that they have a valuable opportunity here, and you don't want to mess it up. And you just got to get the guys together sometime. When you're winning and everything, man, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But when you get that loss, you got to bring the troops back together and say, hey, look here, guys. Hey, look here. Hey, now, we're going to play plenty more teams in the pack that is exactly like this team that we played. These coaches work very hard on your game plans and everything like that. Let's not go in these games looking like, because that was some of the frustration. He's like, you think we don't know that these people go shoot threes?
Yeah.
The guy's not, he can't throw them under the bus. He
Right.
can't say the guy's not executing and they're doubling for no reasons and different things. He can't say that, because you don't want to throw your guys under the bus. But and as a coach, you're like, man, I should have had a better game plan. So, there's something for both of us to work on. But, just as a coach, it's about getting everybody back together. It's just impossible. I'm telling you, it's hard to do when you're winning. When you're winning, you got to keep it down.
KJ this week, Kelvin, he had the best. He said, because he's a young man, 18. He said his biggest takeaway was you got to take everybody seriously.
Oh, well,
you got to take every
what I'm
single
saying.
team that's on the schedule and not think this is a pushover. That's what he said.
And the biggest
I'm paraphrasing, but I'm looking at the standings right now, Kelvin. You talk about all these underdogs in the team. You know who's picked to finish second and third? USC and UCLA.
Yeah.
And those two teams right now are 7-7 and 6-8 respectively.
Yeah.
So you talk about the teams who are expected to be good in the conference this year. They're down in the bottom half right now in the standings. Those other teams that got disrespected, Kelvin, starting the year, people didn't think they might have enough to even finish in the top half of the pack. They're coming. So it doesn't matter ranked or not. Arizona's still the only ranked team right now in the conference. Every team. These two teams, you just laid it out, DK. They're on like a 16-game winning streak combined. I mean, these are not two teams that KJ and those guys are going to take lightly. They're going to have their full attention. But
especially after losing to Stanford.
Of course. But after these two games, you're talking about Washington State. You're talking about USC. You're talking about some other teams on the schedule not too far away. Every team, every game has to be the same level of focus that you showed against Wisconsin, against Purdue, FAU, all those other teams.
All right, Tommy Lloyd analyzing the loss to the Stanford Cardinal.
I mean, we played a team that, maybe our sense of urgency wasn't enough, but, they hit a lot of tough individual shots to kind of get going. And then, we probably panicked a little bit defensively and maybe got too active or every little adjustment I tried, they picked it apart and made a three at the end of it. And I mean, it was, you tip your hats to them. They played really well.
And then Tommy talked about whether in instances like this where your team just absolutely does not play well, that maybe you don't even just address that performance. You don't look at the tape. You just completely move on from that game.
I mean, I don't make too much of it. I don't make too much of it because, at the end of the day, we got to, you got to figure out some whys and you address those things a little bit. But like I said, we haven't talked about Stanford in a couple of days. We had to move on. We don't have time. We don't have time to sit there and dwell on something that, we didn't do well. And at the end of the day, guys, I tip my hat to Stanford. They played awesome that day. They played really well. The last 2 years we've played them there. Played really well, exceptionally well. I mean, so well to the point, sometimes I'm like, how's their record not better? But that's neither here nor there. But they played really well, and we didn't. So, and we probably had something to do with them playing well. They probably, had something to do with us not playing well. And it's just kind of how it went that day. So I'm excited. I'm looking for a great effort from our guys, and win or lose, we're gonna keep plugging away.
Shot the lights out. Obviously, did the Stanford Cardinal in that game, a school record 16 3-pointers. We talked in the post-game show about the defense, some of maybe deficient things that we see. Kelvin, you talked about defending higher. Above the 3-point line. I've talked all season that there's times that I'm concerned about that, as well as straight line drives. Tommy Lloyd, and I'm going to shout out our guy Matt Reynolds, and he's going to be on with us next week from Channel 4, new guy in the market. Asked Tommy a difficult question yesterday in the press conference, and Tommy Lloyd went to bat in the most fierceless way we've seen in defending, or heard, I should say, in defending his team's defense.
Think about teaching defense. A lot of times it starts with the shell or it starts with on ball. And it feels like you guys are
Okay, here's the guys, stop. You guys make a lot. We got our last game by a team that was on fire. Okay. You know what? Going into that game, we were the second-ranked defense in the country. So, I don't know if it's broke. We'll figure it out, and we'll see how it is tomorrow. And if it isn't tomorrow, I'll just have to keep working on it. We're not approaching it any different than we have before. And we don't need to get into philosophical deals and start questioning, well, do we start with a shell drill? Do we start with this ball screen coverage? Going into the game, we had the second-rated defense in the country, and we got torched. So now we need to step up and see where we're at. Obviously the plan was okay up to that point. If you had the 202nd ranked defense in the country, you could ask me any philosophical question you want. And then, now you and I could go to Bob Dobbs, get out some napkins, and we could talk about, you could help me with how I want to start my base defense, and I'd probably be all ears.
So is it what you're saying, maybe, is it you think the schemes and the things were there, but maybe just effort lack?
No. The scheme wasn't there. The effort wasn't there.
And again, that is as hot, I think, as we have heard. Mm-hmm. Even after even after the losses in the NCAA tournament, and maybe there was just a finality to those, but he definitely has reached a point where he's starting to understand where the mindset is in this town when this team doesn't win.
I think Kelvin just made a great point in that, Coach Miller used to call out players publicly in press conferences pretty often. Coach Lloyd has never done that. I've never heard that. So what's happening behind the scenes right now is he's saying, look, you're in rotation right now. If you show up like you did against Stanford against Palo Alto, I'm going to bring this guy in to play your spot. Yeah. If you don't give me what I need you to give me, there are other guys. And that's why you're looking at these guys like, Borovicin and Morauskas in particular, getting into the games recently, guys. You have to have that threat. We talk about the hook, Kelvin, that Coach Olson had. That threat, if you're not bringing max energy or an effort, doesn't matter if you're the leading scorer, doesn't matter if you're the best defender on the team. If you're not bringing that energy and effort, that standard is what Coach Lloyd always talks about. There are other guys, and you need to have that approach. You need to be able to bring those other guys in and have trust in them, Kelvin. And that's what's happening in practice right now. Those other guys, they're letting the coaching staff know, hey, if this guy's not going to give max effort and dive on loose balls and all that, I will. Having a healthy 8-9 guys, Kelvin, that's what keeps the guys in the rotation, looking over their shoulder, making sure that they're doing what they need to be doing.
And the reality of it is the Stanford loss was a different loss. That wasn't the same loss as the FAU loss. Okay? So now that's when a coach starts. Now you at practice. Now I'm not going to address this to the media. I got a whole nother relationship with my kids. Or I won't necessarily call my kids, but you get where I'm coming from. And in my locker room. And so in there, I'm telling those guys, like, look, we got we got Bradley, we got KJ. These guys are playing great. If guys don't pick up their play, I'm gonna start showing the people through my actions in game time with minutes what the adjustment was. Because a lot of times, as J-Dub said, that's your biggest motivation. If you continue to lead, and we know this. We've watched him. I think this is third year.
Third year.
Yeah, third year.
Yeah.
We've watched him. He don't really like to change the starting lineup.
No.
And I don't either, because you got to get a unit that can work together. You keep changing the lineup, you never get that starting chemistry, so you always start the game weird, right? So you kind of want to have some type of unit, a starting unit. You got a different finishing unit. You got a small unit that you go to, and even a big unit. But you got to get that starting unit together. So you give them chances. But after I started taking a couple losses, you start taking a couple losses and you're not playing well, that's when you start making the adjustments. That's how we got, remember Larson had, go to the bench and you come from the bench. So I think what coach is saying, give me a chance now. I can coach a little bit now. Give me a chance, and I'll show you guys the adjustments that's going to get made if they need to be made.
All right, let's give you an indication of what we've got coming up for you between now and 6:30.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
All right, we'll dive into the Colorado Buffaloes coming up here in the next hour. Jaden Bradley is our spotlight on a cat. We'll hear from him. He spoke to the media yesterday. We'll give you your Pac-12 scoreboard. The LA schools played against the Bay Area schools last night. Kelvin, the Stanford Cardinal, did not lose by 19 points against the UCLA Bruins. Tad Boyle will give you your view from courtside today. We'll hear from the Buffaloes head coach, as well as the best bets on this when U of A enters this home tilt as a 12-point favorite. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show, along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog in Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and number one goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills. Enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. And coming soon is Del Webb at Rockin' K, a 55-plus active adult community offering a rec center, world-class amenities that promote health and wellness, and new homes with refined interiors and stunning outdoor spaces. Live RockinK.com. Designed by Nature, proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. And this month, pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
In what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
This summer, savings is the ultimate drive.
The road has been long, and now you're here. One incredible family.
You've saved so many families so much. I want that opportunity.
Savings and Selection 100, now playing at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Go to O'Reilly.com, call 747-8000, or test drive one on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads at O'Reilly Chevrolet. More than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 30 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees, bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including 5 in Tucson and Southern Arizona, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 1,800 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after any accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE. The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Simpson between the circles, knocked away by Boswell. Breakaway, Kylan, reverse lay-in is good.
He's a pest at the top of the key. KJ Simpson so good with the ball. Boswell stronger.
That was Kylan Boswell making KJ Simpson's life miserable last year. This will be the 41st meeting between these two schools. Arizona leads the all-time series 24-16, so it's been pretty even in that respect. The Wildcats, though, have won the last 13 times they have played the Colorado Buffaloes in McHale. Colorado's last win here in Tucson came in triple overtime 5 days before Christmas in 1965. So.
It's, we could talk about the elevation or whatever, but that's Kelvin, and we've been talking about this how long with Tad Boyle. Tad Boyle's teams play so good at home and always struggle on the road. It's been like that ever since he got there. Before Tad got there, Colorado wasn't even in the conversation, really. He's obviously a great coach and has turned that program into, one of the top 30 in America. But, yeah, I don't know what that is. There has to be studies. Somebody has to do studies on the elevation changes, DK, because for some reason Colorado just cannot play as well on the road as they do at home.
I would imagine that there's probably something to that. I mean, obviously all the teams that go there have always had concerns about the elevation, so I would imagine there's a difference for them when they come down out of that. That makes sense to me,
but like the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're not playing at a mile high, then you're not playing as well. The home crowd, obviously that energy that you build on, from having the home crowd, that has everything. Home court advantage is a thing, and especially, those fans are really rabid, as are the ones in McHale. So I get that part. It's just universally, if you go back and look at all of his teams over the years, they always struggle on the road.
And that's a rivalry that's going to continue into the Big 12 era when the 4 teams end up in that conference. Next year, Tommy Lloyd, though, on the Colorado team that his squad will face tonight.
And that they're a team that's kind of been building to this. You could see it building for a couple years. They've added some really good pieces to a good core. And, they got good depth. They got good guard play. They got good bigs. They're just an impressive outfit. To me, they look like one of the stronger teams in the country, and I felt like that going in the offseason too.
One of the core pieces, junior KJ Simpson, averaging 21 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals. He's also 4th on the team in rebounding, grabbing 5 boards. He had 34 points last week, and in fact, in the last game, as Colorado knocked off Washington State. That was a career high for him. He signed here initially to play at the University of Arizona, but that was under the Sean Miller regime. And then when Sean left or was told to leave, so did KJ Simpson, and opted to instead go to Colorado and not play here for Tommy Lloyd, and Lloyd on the outstanding player that is KJ Simpson.
He's a dynamic guard, he can, run their offense. He can play with great pace. He can score. He can pass. And you could just see he has a supreme confidence about him. He's a really good player.
He said he had a really good conversation with you at Media Day. I didn't know, what that relationship's been like, because it was kind of...
Listen, that was so fast. And, listen, it was probably a lot, things were probably a lot more, he was probably a lot more focused on his situation. I was focused on a lot bigger situation. And he's a really good player. And, he obviously made a great choice for himself, and I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for Colorado. We've been fine, the last couple of years. And, it's just looked a situation where it kind of worked out for both. But it was never anything where I didn't think KJ Simpson was a really good player. It's just hard. You get a job. The kid signs with another staff. That's a tricky situation for a lot of people to work out. And, and then you have to rebuild a whole roster. Things happen fast. And he picked a perfect place for him. And he's a perfect player for them. And he's playing really well.
Oh, playing really well would be an understatement. You could maybe categorize him as being, is he one of the best guards, if not the best guard in the Pac-12 conference so far? I mean, well, obviously so far, but projecting to be one of the best guards in the conference this year?
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the better guards last year. So coming into this year with the experience that he has, and after losing so many guys, I definitely think that he's one of the top guys. And you think about he had 34 points and 1 3-pointer. Yeah. He only made 1 3, so he's attacking you. He's coming downhill. He made 14. He had 14 free throws in that game and made 10. So aggressive player who really, against Arizona, seems to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And it's going to be fun to see him and Boswell. I think he could be the guy to help wake Boswell up a little bit, because I think that matchup, J-Dub, helped open up doors for Boswell in getting more minutes here.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the challenge, you said it best, DK, that guy is certainly playing like the best guard in the conference. I don't know. He's very crafty. I don't know that he is the best prospect, if that makes sense. But as far as playing at this level, you can't really argue with the results. And a guy like Kylan, who has coming off of a stretch of games, 4 games now, where he hasn't played to that level that a lot of Arizona fans become accustomed to, you don't want to take that mano-a-mano thing as a challenge and, not to throw guys under the bus. But I mean, remember, like Nick Wise used to come down and take shots, Kelvin. When someone would make a shot on him, he liked to take a shot the next time down the court. You do not want to do that in a situation like this. But as far as stepping up to that situation and knowing that across the way, you got a guy who's playing as good as anybody in the country, certainly playing as the best lead guard in the conference, Kylan's got to take that challenge head on and really step up to that.
20 points in 5 straight games, 20-plus points in 5 straight games for KJ Simpson, averaging 24 over that stretch. Another player that is on this Colorado roster is a player that Arizona Wildcat fans may remember.
Even at 70. Everybody on their feet here. Evias to Lampkin at the top of the key. Looking for Baugh. Lampkin going to get into the lane, work his way down, pump fake, shot up, good, and he's fouled by Coloco. Throw up a wild shot, missed, no good. The tap missed, rebound, Lampkin lays it in.
Can't get a defensive board with this small lineup.
3-point lead again for TCU. Down to 30 seconds left.
Eddie Lampkin Jr. Played at TCU, was in that game a couple of years ago in the Sweet 16 against the Arizona Wildcats, where the Horned Frogs had Arizona down late, but the Wildcats made the miraculous escape. I believe actually that was the second round game in San Diego to beat TCU. Eddie Lampkin Jr. now a member of this Colorado squad as a transfer. He scored 20 points and 14 rebounds in that game against U of A, and he's averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds so far this season for Colorado. And Tommy Lloyd knows that he's going to be a guy that the Wildcats are going to have to contend with tonight.
I mean, we saw the best of Eddie Lampkin. I mean, he, had a 20-point, 20-rebound double-double against us in the NCAA tournament. He's a really good basketball player. He plays with great energy. He's got a great feel for the game. He's impressive. He's an impressive player.
Murph said you're going to assume that De Silva and Williams play. But if De Silva doesn't play because of what he does, so many different things, does that make them different? I mean, do you kind of have to prepare for that too?
I think whoever they roll out there, they're going to be really comfortable and they're going to be really good. And obviously De Silva's a dynamic player. He's really experienced now. He's playing well inside. He's playing well outside. So I'm sure their preference would be to have him. But whether they have him or not, or whether he's at 100% or not, they're still going to be a really good team. So we're preparing the same way. We don't have two sheets of preparation with De Silva and without De Silva plans.
So you heard the name there, De Silva. Tristan De Silva is injured. He has missed the last 2 games with an ankle injury. The 6'9" senior, who's, like he said, he can do just about everything. 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. And then the Buffaloes are also expected to be without Cody Williams, their fine freshman McDonald's All-American guard. He has missed the last 5 games with a wrist injury from up in Gilbert Perry High School up in the Valley. He has not played, and he's averaging 21 points per ball game. So, again, this is a team that's playing very fine basketball and did so last week without 2 of their best players available.
Yeah, they are. And right now, if you look at the box scores, they're basically playing 5 guys. The 6 guys getting like 17 minutes. So they're short, and to me, when I really think about it, this probably was the game that they were pointing to get those guys back, right, J-Dub? So I expect this game right here has a lot of implications. If you could beat Arizona at home, they're 11-2. They don't have a signature win. I mean, this the game that you go for it. I mean, not to the point to where it risks their season. But I would expect those guys to want to give it a go, especially Williams, being that he is from Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, they had all 5 starters played 30 minutes versus Washington State. Like the last time, like Arizona, you might see one guy, right, on the Arizona roster playing 30 minutes a game. So, yeah, they're not getting much off their bench, but that's what Tad Boyle came into this season with a lot of depth. This was meant to be maybe his deepest team. So they're still on this winning streak, DK, because of the level of guys stepping up. And obviously, you'd love to have those guys. I agree with Kelvin. Would you be surprised if there was like right before the tip off that, oh, by the way, these guys are playing? This is the kind of game where having Tad Boyle's never won a game in Tucson. They've been close many times. This might be his best team to bring in here. So yeah, I mean, it's tough when you got a team you're going up against, an Arizona team on paper that might be the deepest in the conference. We'll see how short the bench goes, Kelvin, with what ends up happening with shifting of rotation or whatever. But the Buffs, they certainly don't have much room for error when it comes to foul trouble and issues like that.
All right, that is our first look at today's game between the Arizona Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every ball game. It's the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Could be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the Meridian Wealth Management post-game show.
We do have one highlight left over from that TCU game.
Oh, let's hear it.
Looking back inside, fire it to Cloco. Shovel it off. Matherin, jam it home with the right hand.
Put it on top of Eddie Lampkin's head.
I mean,
that was the highlight of the season, I believe.
No disrespect to Mr. Lampkin, but Kelvin, I mean, that might have been that was the best in-game dunk I've seen in a long time.
To take you back to some of the Michael Jordan type dunks, but you better watch out for Caleb Love today and that boy KJ Lewis too.
See, now I have to go. I'll have to have that version of that for the folks on video when we come out of a break here before the show is over, because that is definitely a dunk that you want to remember and see from the NCAA tournament in 2022.
He cocked it back. The game was tied at the time, and Lampkin was killing them. Like those 3 factors, right? When you talk about dunking on somebody, if you're talking about dunking on the best player from the other team, Kelvin, in a big game, win or go home type of scenario, and it's a tie game in the second half. I mean, just all those factors. One of the best.
It's like you slayed that dragon.
So good. Yeah, so good.
I think that's where the term, that play right there may have been the one that invented that term, caught a body.
Yes.
That has become very popular
That's it right
over the
there.
course of the last few
The
years.
head tap. The head
Right
tap
there.
they be doing the kids do.
All right, it's the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show with Kelvin Efon, JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
Frog and Firkin, a standout among the bars and restaurants in the University area. Frog and Firkin does what very few pubs can, combine a festive atmosphere and great beer with a menu that could stand on its own in any restaurant setting. A sports enthusiast dream with over 30 TVs, 30 beers on tap, and over 100 imported domestic bottles. Daily drink and food specials, and the kitchen is serving until 10. A standout in the University area. Frog and Firkin. Eat local, support local. frogandfirkin.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com. And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts, for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Rams Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing. Businesses since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
You know, we've guaranteed our tires in every auto repair since 1960.
With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
Pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back. And check out the full page of promotions, discounts, and coupons at jackfurriers.com.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Right corner, Angel for three, of course. Well, This is a day Stanford can't miss, it would seem, from outside the three-point line.
16 threes for Stanford in that game on Sunday that allowed them to beat the Arizona Wildcats 100-82, an 18-point win for the Cardinal. Tommy Lloyd this week on if he is seeing any commonalities in the Wildcats' issues out on the perimeter defensively.
You could probably find a bunch of things. I don't know if there's one common thread. At the end of the day, it comes down to want to. You got to want to do great there. And then, you have to have the discipline to execute a plan. And, for long stretches this year, we just, kind of lost our way a little bit. And we'll have to, see if we can get it back.
And one player who has lost his way, and we've talked about it extensively on this program, is sophomore guard Kylan Boswell, whose shooting numbers are down to around 30% from the field over the course of the last 8 games. And Tommy, on what he's trying to do to get Kylan going.
It's part of the deal. It's your guys' place, dirtbags. It's part of growing up. You just hang with them. You hang with them, and you help them, and you love them.
I wonder if Tommy's got like deals with all these places. He's got a deal with Bob Dobbs. He might have a deal with Dirtbags because he sure is shouting out all these the hot hangouts around Southern Arizona.
I think it's more
Tucson.
like he's probably a couple weeks back talked about how he's still learning about the legacy and the tradition.
Yeah,
and
he
history
did
of
his
the
research at the
Wildcats.
time.
Yeah, I think he's hearing
It is
about some
late.
legacy from the 1980s and 90s from Dirtbags.
Well, how about that? In fact, we haven't really talked about that since it came out. After the one game about how he's got his current players reaching out to former players weekly and he's kind of matchmaking current players with former players to kind of learn about the history of the program, and each guy has to kind of say what he talks, has to present his conversation that he had with that player. That's a really cool little thing, I would think, about how to allow your players to understand the legacy of this program.
So we got to get KJ Lewis Kelvin's number, right?
Hey, hey, you know who I would want to hook KJ Lewis up with is Michael Dickerson.
Yeah.
I would want to hook him up with Mike D, a guy that won a national championship here.
Why is it maybe the similar games?
Similar game. I think offensively is where he's still building his game. That was Mike's strong suit.
Got to flick that wrist, man.
Right. Hey, Mike was man. I mean, that was Mike's strong suit. That first step. Very explosive guy, to pull up jumper, explosive at the rim. So I would love to him talk to him there. Defensively, I think the kid got it. I don't think there's much to say defensively. I would put JT in his ear a little bit. See what I would do? I would tag team the guys. I would put, I would figure out who you needed defense. If there was a guy you needed that had it all, fine. But if not, I'll throw a couple guys at you. But that's just unique. What I feel like U of A can offer with all the NBA players and all the NBA coaches and stuff that we have in the program, because the guys have aspirations of being in the NBA one day. They look up to the Miles Simons, the Steve Kerrs that are and if they smart, they will, because they may be working for those guys one day, So just with that being said, you're developing relationships with guys that are doing things that you want to do one day.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily on the court as a player for a lot of these guys. It could be behind the scenes as a coach, as we've seen so many guys kind of take that part of it as well. Tommy Lloyd was asked this week how his team kind of has reacted in the days of practice following the loss to Stanford.
I mean, practices were fine this week. Our practice was fine, and you would, hopefully they would be after what we just went through. So, but guys, I know you guys haven't had a chance to talk to me, and you guys are like picking at the scab a little bit. We've moved on. We're 100% focused on Colorado. I have not said one thing about Stanford in 48 hours. You guys can scheme about all you want. I have to move on. Our team has to move on, and we got a really good team. If we would have won by 20 or lost by 20, tomorrow's game is going to be hard. So that's 100% where my focus is.
And that's where his focus should be in terms of the game coming up. I just hope they have talked about the issues that have been cropping up over the course of the last 5 games, of which they are, as I mentioned, 2-3, to try to get those things right as they continue on into conference play. All right, let's find out a little bit more about one of your Arizona Wildcats players.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, this week we got a chance to hear from Jaden Bradley, the sophomore transfer guard who came over from Alabama, and get his thoughts on where the team is heading into this ball game tonight against the Colorado Buffaloes.
Jaden Bradley?
We just spoke with Tommy, and he seemed a little spicier than maybe we're used to. Was he any different for you guys this week?
Just trying to pick us up. As y'all know, we had a tough loss, on the road. So the biggest thing is just not feeling sorry for ourselves, and coming back out tomorrow with energy and fire and ready to play.
Is it easy to move past a game like Stanford, or does it linger a little bit?
I think it definitely lingers, but we all want that game back. It's a game that in our hearts Stanford came out to play, we weren't ready, but if we let that linger, it could cost us down the road. So we gotta put that behind us and take that one on the chin and get ready for tomorrow.
Earlier in the season, Tommy had said that you were dealing with some sort of a foot injury. How's that going right now?
It's doing better. Been doing a good job, maintaining it throughout practices and doing extra treatment. So it's doing well. Yeah, it was like a little turf toe on my foot, so it's good.
When do you think you felt to where you could do everything still on the court and it wasn't limiting you?
I kind of say, that stretch right before we left for that break, kind of that Alabama FAU kind of series. So yeah.
And what does that? What are you able to do that it was holding you back from?
I say just the movement, applying pressure to it. So now I'm definitely good. So.
I was wondering how that worked turf toe. If you take a shot and you plant your foot and then you feel it, does that affect your shooting, or is it when you're defending somebody you're sliding?
I'm not a doctor or anything, but it affects kind of just movement and how you can apply pressure to it. So your stance and how you run, so stuff like that.
As a guy that prides himself on defense well, what is your mentality going into a matchup with KJ Simpson?
He's a great point guard. We've been doing, coach has been doing a great job giving us, the film and his tendencies. So coming in, we want to, take away the things that he's good at and, limit, the head of the team. So we got to do a good job on him.
Without giving too much away, obviously, what is it that makes him such a good scorer this season?
He's fast. He's very confident, and he can shoot the ball, drive the ball well. So we just gotta make him shoot contested shots. That's really it.
What's your thoughts on just the defense in general with you guys, especially perimeter defense? There's been some talk, just tough, a couple tough matchups. I think Purdue and Stanford particularly. And what could be better there in your mind?
That's been a big emphasis we've been doing in practice, just sharpening up our defense. In the beginning of the year, we look connected, we looked as one, and we kind of been fading ever since. So that's a big thing, and hopefully tomorrow it would all connect. So.
Did you have that? But the first half in Cal, you guys really went at them. I mean, what was the difference, I guess, between Cal and Stanford in that?
I just feel like we were ready and we came out to play. At that Cal game and the Stanford game, we just did it. So.
A couple weeks ago at this point, but we didn't get a chance to talk to you after Bama. What was it like seeing a lot of those guys again?
It was a great experience, great moment. Reconnecting with old teammates and last year guys. I went to war with every day. So nice seeing them, but I'm glad we were able to get that win. Yeah.
Home for the first time in a month. Obviously, you guys had a great home atmosphere in Phoenix, but it's different at McHale. What are you looking forward to about this weekend?
Just that home crowd energy. Just knowing everybody got your back. It's different playing at home. So definitely gonna feel that tomorrow.
Anything else for Jay? Good to go.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
As today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Jaden Bradley of the Arizona Wildcats Jaden averaging 7 points per game the last 3 games for the Arizona Wildcats, making 9 of his 20 shots. And he'll be an important part of whatever happens to try to right this Arizona defense, because he has been one of the guys that has been a, quote, defensive stopper. When Tommy has needed defense, he has often gone to Jaden Bradley and KJ Lewis this season. So I imagine that's going to continue.
I think we all can see that side of what he can do. Those long arms, he's a very he's engaged on the defensive side. Kelvin, how much did you watch of him at Alabama? And as far as that mid-range, it feels like he's being a lot more aggressive. Not looking for his shots, but being comfortable taking that shot. He didn't do that maybe for the first 5 or 6 games. Yeah. But these last 3 or 4 games, it feels like once he gets past that first line of defense, I like that little pull-up 12-footer that he's got. Really nice.
Very high IQ player. I think he came in, and I always say this, he's new to the family. So I think he came in and said, wait a minute, let me make sure I'm not stepping on any toes. Let me make sure, and you're winning all those games. So you don't necessarily need it. Everything is running well. And as a backup point guard, you're not necessarily going into the game to looking to score. But it was these last few games, we needed a little pickup. Boswell hasn't been playing the best offense right now. His shot hasn't really been falling. So you needed a guy to come in and be able to give you a couple of extra points here and there.
Also, hard to step on toes when you got that turf toe you're working on, right?
You don't want to step on toes. But he uses his length well. That's why I like about him getting to the mid-range. People don't realize he's a 6'3", 6'4" guard, which is usually, if you notice, he's usually taller than most of the guys he's playing. So he can get to that mid-range and find easy shots, and it seems that he has a uncanny ability to be able to find passing angles, too, with that size.
And if that's what the defense is giving you, that's what I mean. Like, that's what they're talking, a lot of drop going on. So as far as, like, what the offense needs to get open shots for Kylan, get open shots for Caleb Love, I mean, that's Jaden Bradley getting by that first line of defense and driving that closeout and taking what that defense is giving you, Kelvin. That's a money shot right there, and that makes the defense think twice about what they're doing with those other guys on the court.
All right, it is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show. We are brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the best place to eat, drink, and play while watching tonight's game between the Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes. You can see that game on the ESPN network. Dave Pasch and Bill Walton will be on the call, the analyst chair, for a second straight game, as Bill was in the chair last Sunday up in Palo Alto. We will take a timeout here, come back, second hour of the show straight ahead. If you want to get in with thoughts on the Arizona basketball team, we'd love to hear from you. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Be sure to download the Wildcats 1290 app. You can interact with us through our app by way of text, by way of video, by way of audio. If you want to say something but you don't want to call up and talk on the radio, send us your thoughts by way of audio through our app. If you want to give us a video of you and your friends talking Arizona basketball, we'll gladly take that too. Be mindful, though, we may actually put that on the air if you do send it to us. It's David Kelly along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This hour of the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show is brought to you by Advanced Auto Care, Crest Insurance Group, Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Frog in Firkin, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
The Window Depot is proud to sponsor the first look at today's game and would like to invite Arizona Wildcat fans to visit one of their Tucson warehouses. The Window Depot provides over 1,000 in-stock vinyl windows, interior and exterior doors, plus granite and quartz countertops, and a huge selection of custom cabinetry, all at the lowest prices in town. Consider the Window Depot your MVP when it comes to your home improvement needs. Stores are open Monday through Saturday, or order online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
What up, Tucson? This is Joseph Blair, former Wildcat and assistant coach of the Washington Wizards. When I came to play basketball at the U of A in the 90s, the Tucson community became and has always remained a special part of my life. And this is why I proudly joined the Meridian Wealth Management Tucson Advisory Business Council. If you have financial questions or concerns, please be sure and call my friends Natalie or Ruben Fernandez at 719-1433 or visit online at Meridian Wealth LLC. And as always, bear down, Tucson.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisa Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Come to the Good Feet store in Tucson at 4811 East Grant Road.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to bepestfree.com.
The Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show continues on the home of Arizona men's basketball, Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Hour number 2 of our program, and we've got still to come in this hour. We'll get you up to date on your Pac-12 scoreboard. 4 games in action tonight, 2 last night. So it appears that I don't know if this is going to continue to be the trend. Last week they played 2 games on Thursday, 4 on Friday, and looks like this week they played 2 on Wednesday and 4 on Thursday. I don't know if they're going to continue to split the games up like that throughout the season, but that's quite a possibility. It was the LA schools and the Bay Area schools last night. We'll tell you what happened in those games. We'll hear from Tad Boyle, the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. He spoke to his media this week. He'll give you your view from courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Who will be that that Colorado Buffalo that will get underneath the Wildcats' skin today? Your pest of the game. We'll also give you that in this hour. Next hour, of course, your best bets. The over-under on this one coming in tonight at 160. Mark Johnson, the voice of the Buffaloes, will also join us before we get out of here at 6:30 this evening. It is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show, along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I am David Kelly. Tommy Lloyd this week and his Wildcats, they are back at McHale Center for the first time since December the 9th, that day when they took on the Wisconsin Badgers. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, it was a glorious day, and it was a day in which they really went to work against Wisconsin.
And that's it. The Wildcats, in a top 25 matchup, dominate the Badgers today here in Tucson, Arizona, 98. Wisconsin, 73. Cats 8-0 as they hit the road.
Indeed, 8-0 as they hit the road. The Wildcats, since that time, have gone 2-3, so they come back at 10-3, having lost 3 of the last 5. But it is going to be great to be back at McHale Center.
It's going to be awesome. I mean, hey, the scheduling kind of broke how it broke, and you never want to be away from home that long. It's going to be good to be back home, and, I think we need a little home cooking. But hey, I have no regrets for the schedule we're played, and it's just kind of a tough hop when you play a tough December schedule and you end up with your first 2 conference games on the road. And, but that's also a great opportunity to go win them. You go win 2 road games right away, and you kind of put yourself in good position. You don't, you're probably right where you should be. So, I'm comfortable with where we're at, and, we just got to have a great effort.
Now, guys, in the Arizona game notes, they often start out with what they call the starting 5. So just kind of 5 facts, 5 stats to kind of look at for this particular ball game. And stat number 3 was that Arizona is 13-0 in games following a loss under Tommy Lloyd. 13-0 after losses. They've not lost back-to-back games.
That's pretty good.
In the Tommy Lloyd era. And they have won those 13 games by an average of 21 points. 21-point wins after a loss. Tommy Lloyd asked about that margin of victory after losses this week.
It's a non-topic. We got our ass kicked last game. We're coming to play a team that's really good. And I knew they were going to be good all summer. Colorado's got a great program, and, they got a really well-built team, and it's going to be a real challenge.
Well, do you find, though, is it a chance, especially when you have a few days like this, to guys really lock in maybe a little bit more after a game like that?
I mean, Bruce, if you don't try to lock in more, I don't know what to tell you. I hope so. I don't got any magic potion. I just know we didn't play well last weekend against a team that did play really well, and we've moved on, and we're obviously, I don't know, we dress things, whatever. We had like a normal week of preparation, and we've lost games before, and I'm sure we'll lose them again, and we just know we're prepared to play a really good Colorado team in a big game.
There is another factor. You ready for this?
Yes.
Last year they lost at Utah on December 1st. Next game they played at home versus California, 81-68. Then they lost versus Washington State. That was the only home loss. At Oregon, next game, USC at home. At Stanford, next game, Utah at home. At UCLA, next game, Stanford at home. So 5 of their losses last year were on the road, followed by a return trip to McHale in the next game. You're looking at that margin of victory, Kelvin. I mean, losing a game on the road, as they just did in Palo Alto, and coming back home to the friendly confines of McHale Center, feeling really good about yourself. Yeah, I think that's
and a little ticked off from losing. I mean, if you're a winner and you're in a winning program, as much as your coach don't like losing, the players usually are the same. So yeah, that's the reason why you bounce back like that, because I guarantee you, I can hear how chippy he kind of is right there. That I'm sure he's telling the guys you don't want to let the losses linger, but he also telling them, and he told them how to make sure it don't linger.
Yeah, you don't want to feel like, hey, in the moment. I guarantee you in that locker room afterwards, it was, hey, feel that, right, Kelvin? Because you don't want to feel that again. That motivation to avoid that pit in your stomach where you're a 10-point favorite and you lose by 18, you don't want to have to feel that again. So that motivation, that self-motivation those players got themselves, the coaching staff's going to build on that, right?
The other 5 in the starting 5 for today's game, might as well give you these since we started off talking about one of them. That was number 3. Arizona 13-0 in games following a loss under Tommy Lloyd, winning by an average of 21 points. Starting 5, point number 1, the Wildcats have been ranked now 45 consecutive weeks, 45 out of 48 weeks under head coach Tommy Lloyd. They have been a top 10 team for 37 of those weeks and a top 5 team for 21 of those weeks under Tommy Lloyd. Now, starting 5, point number 2, Umar Ballo enters tonight's game with 979 points. So he would need 21 points to reach 1,000 for his career. And that's his total career between both Arizona and Gonzaga. Pella Larson has 975 career points between his 2 stints with both the Wildcats and the Utah Utes. Starting 5, point number 4, over the last 6 games, Caleb Love is averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 44% overall and 36% from behind the 3-point line. Good to see him shooting better from 3 as he was down in the 29s for the season prior to this stint. And the Arizona offense in point number 5 has recorded a 10-0 run 17 times through 13 games this season, tied for the second most in the country. Sunday's game at Stanford was Arizona's first game this season in which they did not have a 10-0 run.
Also, for those listeners wondering out there, I had to look it up. Umar Ballo had 60 points in Spokane. So 60 points with Gonzaga.
So 919.
919
I
as an Arizona Wildcat.
I was gonna say this, since they're not counting the bowl touchdowns from back in the day, I don't think they should count the points that wasn't scored at your school.
See,
in
now
the
that,
record,
that
in the
I've
record book.
always that's always bothered. It's interesting you said that. That's always bothered me about stats in college. It's like I want to know what a guy's like. Caleb Love comes here. I want to know what his full numbers are in college. And a lot of these colleges, all they give you is what the guy has done at this current school. Well, I want to know what he did in his old school. I mean, I want to have those numbers too. It's like I feel sometimes like I have to go running and looking under rocks to find out what a player did at their other school, almost like we're not allowed to put those numbers into our existence. Make it easy for me by allowing me to know what a guy's total career college life is. I don't want to have to go running and looking for that.
You just got to go to the right website.
Now I'm okay if you don't want to count the tournament games in the stats, then that's fine. But
but basically what I was saying was, so how are you 1,000-point scorer at Arizona if you didn't score 1,000 at Arizona?
Well, they're just saying 1,000 points career.
No, I respect. No, totally.
Career.
You've deserved everything you've done in your career. But should you be like Ballo? He only scored 60. He's going to score another 60, so he's going to have an actual 1,000 points.
Arizona.
But Caleb Love's not a 3,000-point Arizona scorer or whatever.
No, and you should never. That should never be recorded in any record book as that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can. No. You should never say that this guy's a 3,000-point scorer and combined, unless you're making that point. He was a 3,000-point scorer in college and showing that he played at whatever. Because nowadays you might have kids like James Akenjo who play at 3 schools, and that kind of thing.
The thing that really bothers me is when you take credit for something you had nothing to do with. And Oklahoma City Thunder is a good example of that. They take credit for all of the Sonics everything that happened with the Sonics. And another thing, guys, what's the Conference of Champions? Right?
The Pac-12.
Pac-12. And why is that? It's because the LA schools have over 100 team championships combined. There's only 3 schools in the nation, Stanford and UCLA and USC, okay? When they go to their new conference, David Kelly, do they take all of those championships with them? And that conference now can take credit for hundreds and hundreds of championships over the years? That bothers me.
Now, they can take those championships with them because those are their championships, but the Big Ten can't have anything to do with all of those championships that they've won.
If 10 months from now I see a list and it says the Big Ten has the most team championships in college sports history, I don't know.
No.
Something bad about it.
No, you can't do that. You cannot do that.
Well, it's like the Big 12 claiming Arizona football season. I mean, from, saying they beat Oklahoma, so the Big 12, beat Oklahoma. I'm like, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Hold up, buddy.
No. All right, let's give you your scoreboard for tonight.
The Pac-12 scoreboard is brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery.
All right, we'll start with the games last night. Cannon Carlisle, 17 points for the Stanford Cardinal. They've got a little winning streak going now as they go into Poly Pavilion and knock off the reeling Bruins. The Bruins are really having issues in their first season under a retooled roster as they lose 59-53.
That's not 100, right?
Huh?
That's not 100 points,
No,
is it?
no.
That's not 100. 59 is not 100.
No. Stanford made 6 of 20.
Exactly.
3-point shots
Yeah.
in this game. Carlisle, though, did have 3 of those. No one else had more than 1 3-pointer made in that ball game. The other game in Los Angeles right now, which we are actually watching on replay right now here in the studio, USC knocked off California 82-74. Boogie Ellis, 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists for the Trojans. Jalen Tyson had 23 points for the California Golden
Kelvin,
Bears.
which of those two teams, Trojans or Bruins, you think is going to turn it around and be what everybody expected them to be to start the season?
I'm going to go with USC right now. I'm going to go with USC right now, even though I never underestimate Cronin.
Yeah.
And Cronin, because he figures out a way to get his guys going. But I'm going to go with USC. I think they have a little more talent and they have guards. When you have that guard play, we've seen in a couple losses that we've had this year what good guard play could do.
I heard Cronin had a quote, I think it was from last week. I don't want to call – paraphrasing again, like, I don't know the player he was talking about, but he said something about maybe a freshman. He's like, that guy's such a bum defender. If we had any seniors, he wouldn't be playing. So it's like, how many, because we saw Tiger, we saw Jaime Jaquez, like all those guys have been there on that Bruins rotation starting lineup for the last 4 or 5 years. It seems like it's almost a completely Adem Bona, the freshman from last year, is still there, but almost everybody, all those names that we're used to that have carried Cronin's teams over the years, they're not quite there. They're struggling picking up that Cronin defensive philosophy.
And J-Dub, I blame coaches in those instances because why you're not having guys there developing and getting them a few little minutes here and there, getting them ready so you don't be empty-handed when you go into your next season.
It's tough. You got a bunch of seniors you're relying on. And obviously Coach Lloyd, same thing last year, a bunch of seniors, but they all were fifth-year grad transfers, right? You're talking about Cedric Henderson Jr. and Courtney Ramey transferring in. Same thing this year. Caleb Love's, fourth-year senior. Obviously, Keyshawn Johnson transferring in. So you got Balo and Pella, who are the standard natural seniors on the team. Bring in 2 more. You bring in all that leadership, but you still got those freshmen and sophomores coming in and waiting in the wings, right? So healthy basketball programs got the different levels of,
well, you see how Coach, I was going to say, but you see how Coach Lloyd had Boswell?
Yeah.
He was getting Boswell ready. We didn't know when Boswell was going to be actually ready to help us, but he was in the wings, though. Yeah. Behind Kirk Carissa, getting ready, getting them little minutes here and there. And that's what I'm saying. You have to start to prepare for that. You're knowing that you're about to lose a guy.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because you rely on that. We watched Cronin rely on those dudes playing 35, 37 minutes a game every game these last few years.
So you got to pay for it now.
All right, let's give you the scoreboard for tonight's contest. 4 games in the Pac-12 Conference. Oregon at 2-0 and 10-3 will head to Seattle. They'll take on the Washington Huskies. The Huskies swept last weekend at the Rocky Mountain Schools, but are a 4.5-point favorite in this ball game. The second game of the night is the one here in Tucson. Number 10 Arizona hosting Colorado. The Buffaloes come in winners of 6 straight and 2-0. The 9 o'clock game in the Mountain Time Zone. It's the 8 o'clock game out west. Washington State will be looking for their first conference win as they'll host Oregon State. Oregon State got a split last weekend, and they come in at 1-1 to Pullman tonight. And the other game will be also on ESPN networks tonight up in Tempe. The Sun Devils, who are 2-0 after sweeping the Bay Area schools, will take on the 2-0 Utah Utes. So that should be a good one. One of those teams will come out with their first loss of the conference season.
Real quick, we've been talking a lot about how Arizona's the only ranked team in the conference, but the Mountain Schools coming in with their combined 16 wins in a row. For the record, right now, Colorado is ranked 28th. So they're third in those others receiving votes. Utah 27th and 28th.
Okay.
So they are right there on the cusp. Both of them are ranked in the top 30. They're not ranked in the top 25.
Well, some wins this weekend against the Arizona schools will get them there and probably continue the slide of Arizona if that's what takes place this weekend. Let's hope not. All right, much more to come up. When we return, we'll hear from the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, Tad Boyle, get his thoughts on tonight's game with the Arizona Wildcats. It's your view from courtside. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. We are also brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the best place to eat, drink, and play while watching tonight's game between the Wildcats and the Colorado Buffaloes. With Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
That's been the Pac-12 Scoreboard, brought to you by Mesquite Valley Growers. Mesquite Valley Growers. Real growers, real experience, real nursery. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show on the home of Arizona men's basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Rams Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing. Businesses since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
True Wildcat fans know that when you're looking for the best place to watch all the big games on big screens, drinking cold beer and having the best food, all paths lead to Desert Diamond. Bet on your Wildcats and all your favorite teams 24/7 on our easy-to-use kiosks. Come chill on our comfy couches and build your best bet at Arizona's best bet, the Desert Diamond Sportsbook and Bar.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Desert Diamond Casino is licensed in Arizona.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
Do you often worry you left the garage door open? With a LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out.
Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates is your authorized local LiftMaster dealer. Visit KaiserDoor.com for more information.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez of Meridian Wealth Management, and I'd like to invite you to our complimentary retirement income workshop held every Friday at 10 a.m. in our offices at the Williams Center. We discuss the key risks in retirement, how retirement has changed, and how to best plan for success. A recent study showed 60% of retirees would go back and plan differently if they could. We want to help you avoid the would've, could've, should've. Call our office at 719-1433 to reserve your seat today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star